This episode is brought to you by Nordstrom. Whether you're packing for a vacation or dressing for a wedding, Nordstrom has head-to-toe looks for wherever summer takes you. From swimwear and bold color to romantic florals and dresses that make an entrance, find the right style for every unforgettable moment. Shop new arrivals from brands you love like Farm Rio, Free People, Vince, Wait, and Stod. Plus free shipping and returns and styling help whenever you need it make it all so easy. Shop now in stores at Nordstrom.com or download the Nordstrom app.
Ready to soundtrack your summer? With Red Bull Summer All Day Play, you choose a playlist that fits your summer vibe the best. Are you a festival fanatic, a deep end DJ, a road dog, or a trail mixer? Just add a song to your chosen playlist and put your summer on track. Red Bull Summer All Day Play. Red Bull gives you wings. Visit redbull.com/brightsummer ahead to learn more. See you this summer.
I'm Jessica, and this is Daebak K-Rambles, where a couple of friends review Korean dramas. Except today! Today we are not reviewing Korean dramas. We are going to review the Chinese drama, Meet Yourself, and I am joined by the drama trio. Hey guys, what's up?
Hello.
So I've got Caitlin with me from No Sleep for Dramas podcast and blog, and I've got Liliana from Tea Soju Chinese drama podcast.
Yeah.
What is up, ladies? How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
I'm doing good.
Nice. Caitlin is an aunt. She is now.
Yes, I am.
Yes. So we were
officially 3 weeks early, but I am.
That's so cute. So we've all been really busy in our lives, but we love getting together. We are usually hosted over on Liliana's Tea and Soju Pod, but I decided to host us today for this very special episode because we have all watched Meet Yourself. Why did I choose Meet Yourself? So it was basically because Liliana has been recommending this show forever.
Oh God.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, I'll put one of these on, and it was either this one or Go Ahead. And I was like, oh, I'll just do Meet Yourself. And there was no rhyme or reason for me choosing this over Go Ahead. I was just like, all right, Meet Yourself. A little bit of insight into my mad scientist brain when it comes to choosing dramas. But yeah, so we're finally here, and I'm excited to get going. We've been actually, for those who actually have no idea what's going on behind the scenes, we've been recording for about 45 minutes before I started the episode. We've just been talking and like having a lot of fun. So it's a little bit weird for us to like funnel our energies into actually doing the drama review. So I'm sorry. I'm so sorry if this comes across as really chaotic. If you've never listened to a drama trio episode over on Liliana's Tea and Soju podcast, like it's pure chaos pretty much.
Yep.
All the time.
It is.
Yeah. So, for housekeeping, if this is your first time listening, wow, what an episode to jump in on. But thank you. Go ahead and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and many more. And if you like us, please give us a review on Apple Podcasts. That goes such a long way for other listeners just like you to find us. And come check us out on social media to stay up to date on our latest episodes and reviews. You can find us on X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Daebak Pod. And if you're a fan, please consider becoming a patron. It is such a great way for you to get involved and show your support for as little as $2 a month. You can check out the page on patreon.com/alwayscriticpod. And here we go. Shout out to our patrons. Janet, Curtis, Bale, CD, Alana, Grace, Lorna, Sammy, Caitlin, Julia, Michelle, Tanmei, Erin, Marta, Delphia, Camila, and Kayla. Thank you so much for being patrons. All right.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! So I got through that whole thing. All right. So we're just going to get started. For those who have never listened to a Daebak review on a Chinese drama, Chinese dramas tend to be a little longer, and because of that, there's a lot of stuff to cover. And the tradition here is to just not do a non-spoiler section. Everything is out. from the get-go. We're going to spoil the show the whole episode. So this is your spoiler warning. I'm going to do another one after we get through like the cast and the synopsis and stuff like that. But just so you know, I almost never ever do a non-spoiler section for Chinese drama reviews. There you go. All right. Also, if you want to listen to the inception of the drama trio, go back and listen to our Till the End of the Moon episodes. Because
Oh gosh, that was pure chaos.
I know. So that's where we first started recording, and ever since then we've just been really good friends. And now you're gonna listen to a follow-up. I'm hosting us today, so let's go. Let's do this. The Vicky synopsis for, oh god, I'm gonna butcher all these names. I'm so sorry. Okay, Vicky synopsis for Meet Yourself. Xu Hongdo is a woman who has worked in the hotel industry for most of her adult life. She is every inch the big city woman, but her life hits a sudden bump in the road. This is really spoilery. Okay, this spoiler alert. This is from the Vicky synopsis. All right. Her best female friend has died, sending her life into a tailspin. Her work starts to suffer, and rather than continue to soldier on in the city, she decides to take a break from the high-paced urban lifestyle in a remote village. She heads out to the village of Yunmiao near Dali in Yunnan province in search of peace and quiet. She soon discovers that life in the agricultural village is not quite as idyllic as she had imagined. Navigating fields full of animal droppings and mud isn't something she is used to. I don't know why they said that. That doesn't make any sense. I don't think she stepped in shit once in the show. Okay.
She did.
She did once.
Okay,
She did.
You're right. There was only once. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was mud, though.
No.
Was it shit?
No, it was poop.
No.
Okay.
It was more than mud.
Okay, I'm going to finish this out.
Yeah.
So she soon finds a sort of equilibrium. She meets a group of fellow big city types who have also decided to flee the big city in search of a more tranquil way of life. One of these individuals is named Xie Ziyao. Yunmiao is his hometown, and he has quit his well-paid job to start a tourism business that showcases Yunmiao. Xu Hongdu soon realizes that she can put her own hotel industry knowledge to good use by helping him. But as they begin to work together, Cupid appears, determined to bring them together. Could they find love in this quiet little village? Liliana's like dying of laughter.
I am, because that describes
It's such a...
Vicky. What are you doing?
Oh, okay. So... Meet Yourself aired originally in January 2023. It's 40 episodes long, 40. It's directed by Ding Ziguang. He's also directed Go Ahead, Find Yourself, My Amazing Boyfriend Season 2, and Youth. I have an old blog review up for Find Yourself from 2020. If you care to go back and look at it, but I did not like reread it. That's a Nuna romance. I'm not sure what it's called in the C-drama world.
Oh my god, this is infuriating, because I remember asking that question from Sarah, and she says there's not like a direct translation, but there's something akin to it. Can I remember it? No. And every time this comes up, I keep thinking, oh my god, I need to ask Sarah, or I need to ask, somebody that knows Mandarin, and then I keep forgetting.
Oh god. Okay, but in K-drama terms, that's a Nuna romance. I don't know what it's called in the C-drama land. So anyway, but remember those shows. So go ahead, find yourself.
Older women, younger man. That's what it's called.
Simple. Right. So Meet Yourself is written by Wang Xiongchen, and he's also written Hi Venus, The Day of Becoming You, Go Ahead, Find Yourself, My Amazing Boyfriend, both seasons. And then his co-writer, the other screenwriter, is Shui Qian Mo. She's written Go Ahead, Find Yourself, and the original creator of My Amazing Boyfriend.
Yep.
So look, these three, the director and the two writers, have basically worked together for years, and they've done other shows together. The three main shows are Go Ahead, Find Yourself, and My Amazing Boyfriend. Have you guys watched, obviously, I know Liliana's watched Go Ahead, but have you guys watched some of these other shows as well?
So Wang Xiongcheng,
Yeah.
the screenwriter, is one of my favorite screenwriters. So I've pretty much watched everything. I've watched High Venus, I've watched A Day of Becoming You, and I've also watched My Amazing Boyfriend season 1.
Same.
I didn't watch season 2. They changed the male lead and it got weird. I don't know. So I didn't end up watching season 2, but I really enjoy his style of writing, especially The Day of Becoming You. It's hilarious. It's one of those body swap dramas,
Oh.
and it is ridiculously good. I really, really enjoyed it. But you guys know I'm a huge fan of Go Ahead, so I anything that these three tend to work on, I tend to keep an eye out because I tend to enjoy the stuff they produce when they work together.
Yeah, so these are the showrunners essentially for Meet Yourself, and then we have a giant cast, but I'm not going to go into like every single person.
I've only watched Find Yourself.
You've only watched Find Yourself. Okay, great.
That's all I have to say.
So I was going to ask, like, did you like Find Yourself?
I didn't mind it. I thought it was a little too long.
Mm-hmm.
I did like their chemistry.
Oh yeah, their chemistry.
But I also am a huge fan of the female lead in that one. I like the male lead, but I love the female lead. So I was a little biased. It could have been better. I could have dealt with like less of the parent drama stuff that happened.
Yeah.
Which is obviously a common thing when it comes to Chinese dramas, but overall, I liked like their relationship specifically because he really needed to grow up and she really needed to let loose a little bit.
Yes.
And I thought that complemented each other, but yeah, it wasn't horrible. It wasn't like the worst thing I've ever watched in my life. It could have been better in some aspects, but that's with Song Wei
Long
and
Victoria's Song.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Song Wei Long is also like they worked with Song Wei Long again for Go Ahead. He's one of the male leads for Go Ahead. Yeah.
So I mean, people could do worse. On in my opinion,
I agree. Yeah,
it's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad. No. But if age gap romances aren't your thing, don't watch. So then,
yeah.
Caveat. What was I going to say? So My Amazing Boyfriend, that's where they got the best friend that died in Meet Yourself, is because she was in season 1 of My Amazing Boyfriend.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. It all made sense when I looked at like who wrote it and who directed it. I was like, they knew this lady. They knew her. So the starring cast, though, the 2 top billing people are Liu Yifei, aka Crystal Liu. She plays Xu Hongdu. She's a female lead. She's been in about 17 movies, and I was like, oh my God, the movies that she's been in. So the 3 main ones that I want to point out are Once Upon a Time from 2017, in which she plays Bai Qian / Susu. Does that ring any bells for you guys? That's the movie adaptation of 10 Miles of Peach Blossoms, aka Eternal Love. And I remember watching this movie and thinking, oh my God, I can't wait to watch the movie version of this story. Guys, it's awful. It's awful.
I watched it on an airplane. I was so excited.
That's
I watched
a perfect
it on an airplane.
plane movie.
It is. It was really good. But at the same time, I'm like, thank God I'm like didn't rent this or like had to rent, like it was nowhere on streaming at this time, which is why I watched it on the airplane, but thank God I didn't pay money to watch it.
Oh God.
The drama's so much better.
The drama is just so much better. If you want to listen to our thoughts on 10 Miles of Peach Blossoms, you have to head over to Liliana's Tea Soju Pod and listen to our full review of that show.
That was our very first ever drama trio episode.
It? Oh,
yeah, 10 Miles of Peach Blossoms.
Oh, it's such a great
time. It opened up season 2 of Tea and Soju, and that was like the official launch of the season and our drama trio.
Oh,
so
that
was fairly special, I think.
Yeah, that's a special one, and we have a ton of fun on that episode. And then Liu Yifei was also in So Young 2, So You're Still Here from 2016. That's her co-star was the now imprisoned Chris Wu.
Oh God.
Damn.
I remember watching this movie and thinking, oh my God, it's so good. I have no idea why I would watch So Young 2 and not the first movie. I watched the sequel, but not the first. Anyway, I'm all over the place. But so I watched this movie. It's actually good. It's just such a shame that you have like Chris Wu in the movie.
Right.
You can't undo that.
Yeah. No, there's no going back
There's no going back. Oh,
from
man.
him. No.
Ugh. And then Liu Yifei, the last thing I'll mention for her movies is that she was Mulan in the 2020 Disney live action remake, which has been widely lauded as a bad movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you guys seen her?
And she got
in that movie.
she got a bunch of
the flack that she got.
I was gonna say,
because
she got a bunch of flack.
She was opening her mouth like during that like press time and saying things about I think it was a certain ethnic group in China. And I was like, oh my God, just shut up. This is a Disney movie. Like, all you need to do is show up and look pretty for these press things.
The thing is, she then got a bunch of flack back home as well, and it took her
That's what I mean.
quite a while to be able.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean yeah. So it took her a while to be able to break back into like Chinese dramas in general. Because she was.
She
got a little canceled. A little canceled.
Yeah.
I'd say, like, as a standalone movie, if the animated Mulan didn't exist, it's not bad.
Right.
But, like, comparison to the animated Mulan and, like, the fan base of the original, and the fact that they took so much of what we loved about the original drama out of the remake, that is what made it a bad movie, in my opinion. As a standalone movie that, like, wouldn't have any lore around it or any fan base around it, it's not bad. But, it's like, fine, obviously it got panned because of the original.
Yeah, so that's...
I haven't watched it.
Oh, okay, well, no.
You don't have
rush.
To.
No rush.
You don't have,
No,
you don't have to.
I love the original.
Yeah,
it's always been one of my favorites. So I was like,
Same.
I didn't even.
Same.
I didn't really go near the.
Don't.
I also felt really bad for the actress who played the witch in the remake too, because she's a
big name too.
Such a good actress,
God,
and she kind of. I don't remember either, but she's such a good actress, and then she kind of just like sidelined in this movie.
I know, and then she's like, a bird for half the time.
And then half the things that came out afterwards of like what they cut and what like could have been, made it even worse. Oh my God.
No.
Oh my God. It would have been such an amazing movie.
Don't tell me. Oh God.
Yeah, man. It was bad. It was really bad of like what they cut.
Freaking Disney live action remakes. That's a whole nother episode. Okay, so then 8 TV shows she's been in, including The Tale of Rose, which is coming out later this year. A Dream of Splendor, which we've already mentioned that's something that the showrunners have touched their hands on. And then Return to the Condor Heroes in 2006. I thought that was important to mention. All right. Her co-star is Li Xian. He plays Xie Ziyao, Chairman Xie, is how or Old Xie. I don't know why they call him Old Xie, but okay. He's a male lead. I have never seen this man in my life before this show.
I have.
Really? Okay,
great.
I
adore him.
Okay. So he's been in 15 movies, about 14 TV shows, including Sword Dynasty from 2019, Go-Go Squid from 2019, Tianjin Mystic from 2017, and Medical Examiner Dr. Chen from 2016. You guys say you love him.
Mm-hmm. I've seen every one of these on that you just listed except for Sword Dynasty.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's been in more, but...
You watched Go-Go Squid?
The original, yeah. I didn't like it, but the original, I did watch it.
I was going to say, I didn't think...
I didn't like it because of the female lead. Nothing to do with the male lead.
That's why I was just so surprised you had even watched it.
Yeah. I love him in Tianjin Mystic and Medical Examiner Dr. Chen. Like, season 2 of Tianzi Mystic, you can skip it. You don't need to watch
Okay.
it. Agreeing, the acting was good. The story, not so much. But the original Tianzi Mystic, everybody needs to watch it if you like crime or like fantasy or whatever thing.
Ooh.
Medical Examiner Dr. Chin is a classic series in C-Drama land. He was the original pair, and they've done countless spin-offs and whatever. He's so good in the original one.
I like to hear
But
all
yeah,
this.
I love him so much.
All right.
I think I watched him in Go Go Squid and a couple of other things, but
Nice.
I think the one that I'm really looking forward to, he's going to be in There Is a Lover in My Hometown with Zhu Yutong, and that looks really, really good. Like, the stills they've released for that is them, like, at night, like, driving on a motorbike and stuff like that. It looks so good. So that's his
Oh
next
my
big
gosh.
project.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So there's a ton of other people in this show. This is a large ensemble cast, but nobody got time for this. So we're just gonna, if they come up, we'll try and say their names. Or I think it's really hard to memorize all of their character names and talk about it without having any visuals. So we might have like little nicknames for their characters as we talk through them.
Yeah.
So what did you guys think of Meet Yourself? This was a little bit of a rewatch for you, Liliana, and I think this was a first time watch for Caitlin. So whoever wants to chime in first.
I mean, for me, I loved it the first time around and I loved it the second time around. I've always said, to me, this feels like a warm hug of a drama. It's kind of like the drama that I come home to. And funnily enough, the first time around that I watched it, I was having a hard time in real life. And the second time that I watched it, I was having a hard time in real life.
Ugh.
So, like, coming home and sitting down with this drama, it feels like, you know, when you just breathe, like you just have like a big breath and it kind of like heals out of you, like everything kind of comes out of you. That's kind of like what I felt like. I would sit down and it's just cozy, especially if you watch it during winter. Like, it looks nice, it's beautifully shot and all of that. So to me, this to me is a healing drama and like a very comforting drama, I would say. So I still loved it the second time around.
Girl, winter is so last season. And now spring's got you looking at pictures of tank tops with hungry eyes. Your algorithm is feeding you cutoffs. You're thirsty for the sun on your shoulders. That perfect hang on the patio sundress. Those sandals you can wear all day and all night. And you've had enough of shopping from your couch. Done hoping it looks anything like the picture when you tear open that envelope? It's time for a little in-person spring treat. It's time for a trip to Ross. Work your magic.
At first, I didn't think it was real. I woke up to this blinding light, and I was transported to another place. Pluto TV. Then I heard a voice.
Come with me if you want to live.
There were thousands of movies and shows, and they were all free.
Truth is ours.
It's just so beautiful.
On Pluto TV, free streaming of Terminator 2, Fringe, Arrow, The 100, and The X-Files may cause excitement, loss of sleep, and sudden belief in extraterrestrials. No credit cards or alien encounters necessary. Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
Caitlin, you want to chime in?
Yeah, I agree. It's a healing drama as well. I think I watched this like the wrong way personally. Which I know Liliana has like touched on this when she's originally spoke about this or has spoken about this. Because I knew for me, if I didn't like get this drama over with as soon as possible, I would never finish it because it's like a slow moving drama. I do not go well with like slow burn romance and like slow moving. But I also like delayed starting it because it's not my type of drama. And so when you originally scheduled the recording date, I only had like 2 weeks to watch it.
Yeah.
And so I binged it pretty much. I binged like 4 episodes a day until I finished it. And then due to life, we had to delay the recording.
Yeah, yeah.
So I do not recommend binging this.
No.
Because it wasn't like, I wouldn't say it was a slog to binge because it was actually like once you get into it, but like due to how slow paced it is and the fact that it's 40 episodes, it takes like 5 episodes a piece for things to happen. So like that's why I had to binge like 4 episodes a day, because then I would have something happen.
You wanted progress.
Exactly. Yeah. So like if I could do it all over again and I didn't really have to watch on a deadline, I'd do like 1 or 2 episodes a day. I think that's a perfect way to watch it. It is still like beautiful setting and everything. It's very comforting, healing. But for me, it could have been less episodes. It did not need to be 40 episodes. So, but this is also like not my usual type of drama. So I'm honestly surprised I enjoyed it as much as I did, because I went into it thinking, oh my God, this is going to be a chore. And at some point it was, because I was just like, it's so slow. And honestly, I don't mind a slow drama. It's just like for things to happen as slow as they did, and for it to be happening with like everybody in the drama, it wasn't just like, okay, this relationship over here is not going anywhere, but this one's moving along.
Yeah. Nothing's
for
happening.
me didn't really happen.
Yeah.
Like at all. So
Gotcha.
I have problems, but overall I could see why a lot of people like this drama. It's just I don't think it was a drama that was made for me. So
okay, so I think it's my turn. So
she has the face.
Yes.
Yeah. So this, when you guys say it's a slow burn, let me reiterate to people, like, this is 40 episodes. The episodes are not that long, though. I think when you cut out the intro and outro bumpers on the episodes, it's like 35 minutes or something.
Yeah. About that, yeah.
35 minutes each episode, and it's 40 episodes long. Babes, I want to say the first 24 episodes or so nearly killed me. I was trying my best to watch this show at a reasonable pace. And again, like, we had to postpone this recording because my car broke down and I was stranded in another city and I didn't have no recording equipment. I didn't have time to binge the episodes or watch it at the pace that I was scheduled to watch it at. So I had to postpone this episode. And even in postponing the episode and having more time to watch the show, the first 20-something episodes, I was struggling so hard watching this show. It's funny because I think this episode will come out right after the Run-On episode, and the Run-On review, that K-drama, again, also a slice of life show, 16 episodes long, and I had a very similar complaint to Kaylin, which is it's a slow burn and nothing is really happening in the plot, so to speak. And the last 5 episodes of Run-On, I was like, shoot me now. Like, just, I was like, oh my God. So
I remember watching that one live when it was airing.
So the first 20-something episodes, it was the same feeling where I was like, I'm going to die watching this show and I'm never going to finish. And it just nearly took me out. And it literally has everything to do with the pacing of the show. Because once I got to a certain point in the show, like maybe episode 25 or so, the last half of the show, breeze. I was easily watching episodes and I didn't have the same issues as I did in the front half. It was so strange. And I've gone on record time and time again as saying I'm not a slice of life girly. I don't consider myself a slice of life person.
Same.
But I'll watch them. Like, I will give them a shot. And I knew that going into Meet Yourself that this was a 40-episode slice of life show. And even so, I was like, my God. Let me just say, the sensation of watching the first 25 episodes is kind of like watching a live stream of a small, idyllic Chinese town in the countryside. And I am not one to watch a live stream of just like the town going about its daily life and the little idiosyncrasies of countryside life and the neighbors and every character has so much story when you look back on the 40 episodes. But when you're in it, you're like, I can't watch this. Like, this is just...
I will say, you are both way more positive than I thought you were going to be.
Oh, okay,
because I've always said, because I have always said, and I have always prefaced that this isn't a drama for everybody.
No, it's not.
Because
it
is very slow.
It's slow.
I've always said it, and this is why when I recommend it, I say I recommend this to a specific type of person, not generally everybody.
No.
Because it's one of those dramas that it is slow, and these three, when they work together, they focus on little moments, because a lot of the time it's just them like walking and doing, like, they might not even be talking. You just see them like walking through the countryside, or you just see them like sitting down and having food and stuff like that. Yeah, and that's
literally,
like,
she's not
I
exaggerating.
Will say, like, I'm not exaggerating. That's the thing. So I am very conscious and aware of the fact that this isn't a drama that is going to be for everybody.
No.
Like, I'm actually, it's really interesting because I'm midst doing like a comforting drama episode.
Yes.
And I asked various people, what is your comforting drama? And it's so personal. And like, somebody came at me and they said, not came at me, but like they replied and they said, comfort watches are very personal to each people. Like, one person might want something where they are absolutely distraught and crying their eyes out, and that's comforting to them. But like, this is what I mean when I say this is comforting to me. It's because not a lot is happening, and that is exactly why it's comforting to me. There's no drama. I can literally, it feels like, but I know for you two that wasn't never going to work, and I said that.
So I answered your question, Liliana. I answered your question with some of my romance Japanese dramas that I will still say are comforting. But you guys saw on my social media, I posted recently, like, people's comforting dramas, romance, and mine is crime. I really wanted to give you a crime drama, but I'm like, that's not going to be cool.
That killed me. When you put that poll up, and you were like, which ones do you think are comforting? I was like, babes, this is like murder.
What are you expecting?
Children getting kidnapped and like all this stuff. And I'm like,
one person agreed with me. One person. Everybody else said romance. I get it. I'm the weird one. But I do watch crime dramas as a comfort drama. Like, I'm not lying.
And I remember voting and I was like, ever so slightly romance? But because like crime dramas, I would never consider those to be comfort dramas. But there's something to it. Like, there's a certain subsect of people that love listening to like true crime and watching documentaries and stuff about really violent things that happen in our society, like that are real, and they find some sort of comfort in it. Like, whether it's thank God my life isn't like this, or wow, something else to watch out for, or it's just pure entertainment. But like,
that's me.
People
all
find
the murder shows in the world. All the time.
So the thing is, Meet Yourself, I wouldn't even consider this necessarily like a romance. I would say this is
I agree.
This is covering a lot of different topics. This is covering grief first and foremost, changing careers, starting over, learning how to live, appreciate the little things in life, finding contentment, and then of course, lastly, almost like in the back half of the show, as an afterthought, there's finding love and sort of starting.
Well, then also, like, you're watching this too, and you can't help but notice, and obviously this is like, it's noticeable because it's part of the main story, but like, it's obvious that China made this drama for a reason.
Oh, girl.
And like,
you want to talk about this now?
I know, but like, we don't have to talk about it now. But like, I couldn't also get past that a little bit.
The propaganda-iness of it.
Yeah, but like the fact. Yeah, we don't have to talk about it.
No, but
right now,
okay,
but like,
you brought it up first.
I will say. I will say a lot of people flocked to the destination, and that's what it was for.
Yeah.
And that's what it was for. It was a part of China that was, and it was a part of China that was really struggling, and the show aired, and it turned things around. So I will say, it did its job. Yes, it was a job, and that will be not okay for a lot of people, because it just feels like a, big, long commercial of come to Yunnan province, but it did its job and it worked. So like for me personally, I enjoy watching videos like that, so it works for me, but it's not going to work for everybody. So.
I wouldn't say it didn't work for me. I think what helped is the fact that they didn't hide it. It wasn't like another drama that just kind of stuck propaganda in, and you're like, oh my god, why is this here? They were very clearly like, we are here to promote this province, and we're doing a drama about it. So like, I didn't have a problem as much with it because of the fact they were so open about it, on the fact that we made this to promote this, and this is the reason why this is made, versus propaganda just being like falling from the sky and some others. But at the same time, I still was like, oh my god, I was like cringing a little.
But it's
I was
40
like,
episodes.
I was like 40 episodes. I was cringing at the same time because I was like, this is a little hard, like too much, like a little too much. It was a juggling act. Like on one hand, it made sense and I was okay with it, but other times I'm like, okay, a little too much here.
That's
like,
heavy-handed.
Okay.
I agree with you, Caitlin, and I also agree that if 40 episodes is completely excessive for the type of drama that this is, I would have been content with 30, 25 episodes, but 40 episodes of, I'm telling you, it's like, the same thing every day. Like happening.
Give me more episodes. I'm more than happy to sit there. Like, I will go for that, and I will say I'm more than happy to sit there, because, again, I don't need the angst, I don't need the plot, I don't need any of that. Like, yes, I love to watch those dramas, but I can just as easily sit down and watch this, and it feels like I'm coming home, I'm sitting down, I'm turning this on, and I'm just checking in on the characters. And that's how I watched it. Yeah,
well, and I think that helped.
That's how I watched it.
Yeah, me and Jess binged it. I think how you watched it, Liliana.
Yeah, that's the case.
Yeah, how you watched it, Liliana, I think is the ideal way to watch this drama. Because that makes sense. And you come home and watch 1 to 2 episodes and you're good.
I have never been that type of person in my drama watching life. I am, and I will always be a binger.
I'm not at all.
To watch 1 to 2 episodes a day.
The fact that I watched 4 episodes of Parasite the Grey last night is a win for me. I don't watch 4 episodes at once of one drama ever. Shit. I love that show. But anyway, that I don't binge. I do like 1 to 2 episodes and then I go to another drama. Unless I'm like loving it. And that's rare. So I like the fact that I had to like force myself to watch 3 or 4 episodes a day of this because I thought we had a deadline.
No, same. I'm sorry. It's me because my car broke down and I was stranded.
You could not have predicted it. I'm just saying, like, the way that Liliana watched this, I think, is the ideal way to watch it.
That's the correct way.
Yeah, it's the correct way to watch
it. And I did say that.
You did.
I've always said, I'm just not reiterating
it.
It isn't a bingeable show.
Yeah,
like,
it isn't.
You cannot binge this. And this is why, when they were releasing it originally, the first time that I watched it on air. And both myself and everybody that I was kind of like chatting to were excited to watch it because that's what everybody kind of said. They would come home, they would check in on the characters, and then they would go and do something else and watch something else. And that's kind of like what this drama is. God. Like,
I know.
Like, what I think it's a very different experience binging something and watching something on air, or even like
and being forced to consume it at a certain rate of release, basically. So I had the things that were magical about it were these conversations between the characters and these sort of amazing moments of dialogue, and honestly, after 40 episodes, I would say that some of these important conversations about life and romance and finding your footing and these big analogies and metaphors, these come across as preachy. I feel like after 40 episodes, I'm like, okay, we're hitting another one. Oh, there's one in this episode. There's one almost in every episode that is very poignant. And if you're watching it slowly, it doesn't feel like you're getting sermon upon sermon upon sermon at all. But when you're watching 4 episodes a day, or what did I do yesterday? I think I did like 10 or 11 yesterday.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was like,
that was
I
never
am
gonna work.
tapped out. Yeah. And that was me enjoying it.
Never gonna work.
That was me enjoying the last like 10 episodes or so. I was like, all right, we're moving. Stuff's moving and shaking now in this town. And still I was like, oh my God, we're taking a break now to have some noodles and talk about whatever it is. And I loved the dialogue when you pull it out and you analyze it and you kind of ingest it slowly. But when you're watching it and binging it like me and Caitlin did, it doesn't work as well at all. And I felt it was definitely a little heavy-handed, and preachy is the term that I kept thinking of. I was like, this is like having multiple sermons and like reading a self-help book each episode, you know? And it's a disservice to the show. I understand that. But when you take it as a whole, and if your watch habits are like ours, like me and Caitlin, then you might feel this way. You might feel like, oh my God, it's overloaded with just commentary on how you should live your life and how to better yourself.
See, and I think, again, because I watched it on air, it felt way, I had a whole different experience from you guys. And also, I was coming into this very aware that these 3, when they work together, they do that. Go Ahead has like similar, when they touch on something, there is, these conversations that are had, different topics, very different topics, but you can see where it's like coming from the same screenwriters and the same director. Yeah. And I think I was already like, my expectations were already where they needed to be, because I had already watched Go Ahead. I knew kind of like what I was getting into when I started Meet Yourself. And I think, for me, again, it worked. I liked it. I still enjoy the conversations that were had, especially like conversations between like the older generation and the younger generation. I think there was really good conversations had there. And like for me it worked. But I feel like I have a very different experience with this drama, and I always do caveat with that, saying that this is not, don't binge it because it's not gonna land, and you have to be a very specific type of person to enjoy this type of I always say it's not slow, it's ultra slow. Like, it is snail pace. So if you don't like that, you're not gonna enjoy this. And I love it, but I can see why others wouldn't, and I do always tend to like caveat with a bunch of things whether you want to try this drama or not.
Yeah. So with that being said, let's talk about episode 1 and this really horrendous heartbreak that happens so early. And I think it made all of us cry because they kind of do a bait and switch on you. The 2 girls, the bestie and Liu Yifei's character, Hongdu, they're going to the hospital to get some tests done, like some checkup tests, because they're both having, I guess, various symptoms that they want to get checked out. And because of how they set up, like Hongdu, that she's having like these gastrointestinal issues, and she gets up the night before the test to, I think, throw up, like she vomits and stuff, and you're kind of worried about the female lead. Like, is something going to happen to her? Is she going to come out with some sort of negative diagnosis? And no, it's the bestie that gets diagnosed with cancer, like stage 4 cancer. And you're like, oh shit, and she's young and she's vivacious and she's like this person's other half, and she ends up dying in episode 1, and you're just like, oh my god. Like, it was very, very emotional, and it colors the rest of the show.
Right.
Totally. So how did you guys feel about episode 1, especially when it plays out sort of in all of her relationships that happen in the town?
I think for me, the first time I watched it, I wasn't expecting it going in. I was expecting, because like back then, the trailers that had come out and everything, they were very like soft, very nice.
Oh.
So a lot of people were not prepared for that first episode. And now whenever there's talk about Meet Yourself, people always mention, do not take episode 1 for granted. Like, episode 1 is devastating.
Yeah.
You just got to get through episode 1 to get like to the rest of it. And I think like at the time, everybody, when this episode kind of aired, everybody was going, oh my god, and everybody was like crying because it was like really emotional of an opening episode, and everybody was like, this is not what I signed up for. Like, this was meant to be a nice cozy watch. What are you doing? And then like because it hits you, like it's right there. All of a sudden she's dying and you're not expecting it at all, and there's like nothing you can do about it in that situation because she's terminal. So I think like the second time that I watched it, obviously like I knew it was coming, so it didn't hit me the same way it did the first time because you already know what's going to happen. Like, you already know this character's about to die. But it did mean that I was like, I don't know, paying a little bit more attention. And there's really no signs that she's going to be terminally ill. Like, there's nothing.
Right.
Nothing at all. So yeah, I think the first time I watched it, I was a wreck. I was like, oh my god, what is this? And then obviously when I rewatched it again, I was like, I know this is coming. It's still going to hit me, and it still did. But like, you know it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also knew it was coming just because I've heard people talk about it. So, like, I didn't, like, I wasn't surprised by it because I knew what was going to happen in the first episode. I still cried my eyes out. I was bawling.
So
but also,
Caitlin doesn't like
people
crying.
I don't like crying.
In
People lie
dramas.
saying you will only cry in episode 1 of this drama. I cried throughout
no.
this drama. I was like,
Yeah.
again, I cry very easily, which is why I avoid dramas that I cry.
Yeah.
Even though I'm watching Midnight Studio right now. But anyway,
Did you see me look at as if there was like a camera here on me? Like Office style? Like, I just looked at the camera.
But yeah,
Not the camera
I mean,
that's actually on me.
I cried multiple times throughout this drama. Like, people just said, "Oh, get past episode 1, you'll be fine."
Lies.
Okay, you
Lies.
will be fine. But it's not like you will not cry ever again.
Okay, so what
No.
was causing you to cry? Like, which storylines and stuff?
Like anything to do, like the whole story with the wood carver, the student wood carver, and how like he
Really?
lost all his money.
Oh.
And like that conversation with him and his sister when he's
Oh.
like, she finds him. I was
That made me cry
bawling
too.
my
Hold
eyes
on.
out.
Yeah,
I loved
that
him.
whole
That was my
thing.
favorite character. I wanted him to be happy by the end of this so bad. He was happy, but he didn't get the ship I wanted. But anyway,
Yeah, he didn't get
I
the
cried
girl.
so much with his character. So much. And then
I was really frustrated. So let's pause here because
yeah.
I was really frustrated with him.
yeah.
This student wood carver, this apprentice wood carver, who's like something like 21 or 22 years old.
Yeah.
And he decides to like go to, I don't remember what city. Was it Beijing? No, right? He decides to
Yeah,
leave
it was
the town
Beijing.
and basically strike out and find his fortune in a bigger city because the town is so dead and people are not making any money from their crafts, like their traditional crafts. And he like loses all his money in a scam.
Yeah.
And I was very frustrated with him because I was like,
too.
that was stupid as shit. Like, you're stupid.
Yeah.
And this is why, like, people get scammed because they're like, they have no street smarts, and he had none.
Yeah.
And then the conversation with his sister happens because she figures out what's gone on. There's no money in his account, and she sees him peddling, I think, some cheese product.
It was the cheese product his mom sent to him
in like a square in the nearby town. And I like lost it because you think she's gonna have a certain reaction. She's a sort of a hard as nails, naggy sort of personality, and she doesn't have a lot of patience for everybody around her. She's just like living her life, and she doesn't have a lot of empathy for people around her. And I totally relate. To her. But when she shows up, you're like, she's gonna start bitching at him like immediately, and that's not the approach that she takes. She sits down with him, and she doesn't say anything. She doesn't like tell him, how could you do this? You lost all this money that mom saved for you and that you had saved, and you know, it's he knows he's done wrong. So she doesn't sort of berate him in the manner that you think. And it is such a touching moment, especially when she leaves.
Yeah.
And oh my God. And she turns around again and like, oh my God. I definitely teared up, I think, in that moment.
Yeah. The other character I got really annoyed at was it wasn't his nephew. What was it? It was his half brother.
The half little brother.
The teenager half brother. Yeah. Same thing. I got mad at him for the same reasons. Like, but I love the grandmother. I love the grandmother though. She was my favorite.
The
grandmother is awesome. She's so good. Yeah. She's so good. Also, like a little aside, but it's like a little Easter egg that they put in. You know, when the half brother goes to runs off to Beijing, and he finds a friend, and the two of them are basically walking and singing something together. That is the Go Ahead theme tune. That
Fuck out of here!
It's like the
yeah. I love that shit.
So that's because everybody that had watched Go Ahead was like, oh my God, losing their minds, because everybody was like, oh my God, that is the theme OST from Go Ahead that the two of them are singing along to. So everybody was like, yeah, that's an Easter egg right there.
Precious.
So yeah, I think his character was just like, I don't know. He was annoying little brother. I mean, what is there to say?
Going back to the woodcarver really quick, though, I love that actor.
Oh, really?
That actor. Oh, my God. I was so excited when he popped up in this because I didn't know. He's such a good actor. Oh, I love him so much. But that's also probably why I was biased towards his character.
You were. It sounds like it.
I love him. I wanted him and that girl to get together by the end of this drama.
The YouTube singer, the live stream singer.
I love them together.
Nana.
And of course, it sort of happened, but didn't happen.
It didn't. She was firmly no, I treat you like my little brother, and I thought that was strange. Okay, let's talk about this. There's actually quite a few, more than I thought, at least, age gap romances that they try to lift off in this show. Yeah. And I was like, where is this coming from? Are they trying to tell women to date younger men?
I don't know.
That's because the popular genre, though. Everybody likes a Nuna romance, though. I'm a sucker for Nuna romance.
I totally get it. When it's done right, it's done right. But in this show, there were two.
Yeah.
And I was like, strange. Is there okay, so I just thought that was so strange, and that was the woodcarver and Nana, the live stream singer.
I liked them together so much, but again, I'm really biased for.
I thought they had no chemistry, and she just was not having it. So I was like, I don't know why they keep pushing it. And everyone in the town is like, why don't you just marry what's his face? Telling her he's available, he's single, and why don't you just marry him? He's such a great age to get married at. And I was like, fuck you say? He's a kid. He just lost all his money in the town. Why are you trying to get him married and shipped off with this girl, and she's not even she's a transient. She's like not a local. Anyway, all right.
When this was first airing, a lot of people were actually shipping Nana with the writer, the female writer, as like
my God,
pairing.
same. That was my
Yeah, exactly. That was the popular ship.
Yeah. So
but obviously that was never gonna happen.
I
but
know.
people were like, these two women together
especially
have a
when
shit ton of chemistry.
They did, and especially when Damai, that character, the online writer, started to pick up Nana from work.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, are we? Does the ship have?
This is adorable. Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, like let these little lesbians get together, please, and it never happened.
Yeah.
So
I think that's why people were not too bothered about like her and the wood carver, because people were like in the other ship already. They were like, Nana should be with the writer, because like this is where that's where I was at the first time that I was watching this. Second time the same. I was like, these two, if only censorship would allow it, I bet these two
would have been great.
Would be the pairing that would have gone together, because they just work so freaking well together.
They do, and they were so supportive of each other, and they just listened
the reason
to each
why
other.
I love
and then
that
there was
actor.
Chemistry. I don't know, like I was sensing it.
Yeah. You were not alone, Jess.
Okay,
you were not alone.
Good.
The reason why I love that actor is because he was in The Bad Kids.
Good sleep is everything. That's why Ollie's Science Back Support is made with a blend of melatonin and L-theanine for both kiddos and grown-ups. So when your mind won't switch off, you've got something that can help. Your racing thoughts and restless nights won't stand a chance. Find Ollie Sleep Solutions for the whole family at ollie.com. That's OLLY.com.
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
The Bad Kids.
It was his first drama ever. He's amazing in it. So good. But that's the reason why I love him so much.
And then the other Nuna romance was a real, like that one actually did sail. It was I'm going to call him Ken because he was constantly playing guitar at people. So Ken.
Oh, yeah.
Ken, the young guy, and this new tenant who came to stay at the homestay. And she was like a 40-something-year-old divorcee with a grown child in college. And I was like, they got a little something. And she goes to see him at the bar every night. And she's all up in his biz. And she's really supportive of him more than the other people in town. And sure enough, they fuck. They have like a full night where they're like rattling the whole... the whole homestead.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh. And then they kind of like back off, like they bring it to a whole boil, and then they like back off the heat from them. And I thought that was so funny. But she was like trying to get out of the situation. She was like, "Yeah, I don't want a long-term relationship with you."
Yeah,
and
I'm done now. Yeah, no.
Yeah, she was like, "We're just two consenting adults. It's fine." And he was like completely flabbergasted.
He had no idea where to go. He was like, I no clue.
Ugh, so out of his depth.
Yeah.
But then what? He decides to go to Beijing and get a job somewhere at some music production job, and like get with her because that she went back to Beijing.
Right.
So I was like, all right, like that sailed, but we don't really see it as far as like epilogue type thing. So those are the Nuna romances in the show.
Speaking of like the the non-Nuno romance you were talking about with just the two women. I did like the female relationships.
Yeah.
In this. Like, especially within the homestead and how they, like, ate together all the time. But I thought that was really well done in terms of, like, even though, like, most of these people, well, I shouldn't say most, a lot of these women, like, didn't grow up together, hadn't known each other their entire lives or whatever, but, like, I like the idea of, like, you can still create somewhat of a family in a very short period of time. In
it's found
you
family.
Might go. Yeah.
Big time found family. If that's your thing, oh my God, watch the show, because this is found family to a T. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oop. So the episode 1 where I really liked when Liu Yifei, that female lead, is sort of trying to get back to her life after her best friend has passed away tragically. Yeah. And she's going about her life in the hotel, and it's not the same. And I don't know if you guys have felt that way in your lives, but I was like, wow, that's very deep and real. Where something happens to you and you're like, I can't just go on like nothing happened. Like, I have to make a change here. And I really enjoyed or appreciated her epiphany when the clock that's in the hotel is getting repaired and the gear drops on the floor, and that gear was replaced because it was no longer functioning correctly because it was stripped or something. And she just realizes she doesn't want to keep being this cog in the machine, like replaced when she's no longer useful or efficient. And she kept making this connection that this clock is very much like this hotel, where all the pieces need to work in synchrony to get a perfect timepiece. And she was like, I just don't want to be another cog in the machine. I don't want to be another gear that, I'm not functioning right and they're just going to replace me. I'm replaceable.
Yeah.
Right.
So she just up and quits. And it's very similar to the other K-drama. I think I made this comparison on one of their drama trio episodes, but Summer Strike, where she was like, this traumatic thing happens to her and she's like, I'm going to quit everything and just live differently. But in this case, in this show, it was also because of the mandate from the BFF for her to live the life she couldn't and live life to the fullest. So here's the rule of thumb for people who are like not familiar with like writing tropes and things. If you get a mandate or someone's on their deathbed and they request something of you, or they say you have to do something, you can't just not do it. Like, bad things will happen if you don't do that thing. So in this case, her best friend is like, please don't just keep living this humdrum life. Figure out what you want to do. Figure out what you really love and do that, because life's too short.
Right.
Yeah.
And so she does that. That's the rest of the show, is her like meeting herself, so to speak.
Yeah. I think I also really enjoyed, like, one of the reasons is that her friend asks her to do this, but it's also, this was the trip she was meant to do with her friend.
Yes.
This was the trip, and she kept postponing it because she was working and she couldn't get time off, and she wanted to focus on her work, and she wanted to focus on getting, saving for the house, saving for the car, for all of these things. And I think
material
that's
wealth.
one of the things, exactly, and that's one of the things that I enjoyed so much about this drama. And I think any millennial can relate to this. It's the fact that we're always being told, you need to save, you need to buy the house, you need to, we always seem to have these steps that you have to achieve, and if you're not achieving them,
you're a failure.
Then your life isn't going well. And this is exactly what this drama shows. It's like, she is working so hard for all of these things, but when does she get the time to actually enjoy the fruits of her labor? She doesn't. She doesn't. And that is the comparison they do, is when you step away from the city, from the hustle, from the always go
grind.
of like being in the big city, it's like you realize that you actually don't need all of these things, and you can be successful in a different way. You don't have to fit into this mold that everybody wants you to fit into, of you have to have the house, you have to have the car, you have to have savings, you have to have all of these things that, yes, maybe were important to other generations and to other people, but I think this is kind of like happening a little bit with like generations now, where people are realizing that sometimes it isn't, people are saying, go on that trip, go, do this or do that. And I think that's one of the things when I was watching it the first time and even the second time that I connected so much with. It's the fact that, it's her situation. Yes, it happens because of her best friend dying, but it was the trip she was meant to take with her best friend, and because of work it kept being pushed off, and then she couldn't take the trip with her best friend anymore. She could only do it by herself. And she actually, like, whenever she's journaling and she's talking to her best friend through like her journal, she comes back to this, this is what we would have been doing together or whatever. And I think that's, I enjoyed that whole aspect of it, that yes, it may seem like propaganda to pull people to the countryside and whatnot, but it also comes with this message of that sometimes you do need to slow down and you need to take like a couple of steps back and like reevaluate what's really important to you, because it might not be what the path you're on, or it might not be like what's important to your parents, or to even to your friends around you may not be what's important to you. So I really, really loved that whole theme throughout the drama, as a whole.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. Yeah.
In episode 3, I think there's a moment where they're walking by, the male lead and the female lead are walking by our high lake, and he's talking about how his grandpa used to fish in the lake and now fishing is banned in the lake, and she just says time flies. And I have this quote from him, and I think I paraphrased it because I missed it. Like what he says was, as a child, I used to think time crawled by, but now I realize that time flies. And it's so true. As a child, you have no concept of time and how precious it is. And you're constantly wanting things to move faster and go faster for your life. You want to be a teenager. Oh, you want to, be in school. You want to be in college.
Be adult.
I want to be an adult. And then now, as you're older and you've done all of these things, you're like, wow, I want time to slow down because it's moving too fast now. And I love that, that visual, that sort of harkening back to, as a child, you're so naive and innocent about the things in life, that these responsibilities that make time just, you lose track of it and you lose years of it so quickly. And I think it's also interesting to look at that now, especially when we feel like, I think most people would feel like they missed out on 3 to 4 years of their life because of the pandemic. And so I think this gives it a new context for us as part of this crazy generation that has experienced a pandemic, that you want time to slow down, damn it, because look at all this time that we've lost just in our dealing with the pandemic, and jobs and relationships that were changed and we don't have anymore because of the pandemic. Right. So it's really poignant, and that was only in episode 3. So I mean, things like this. Episode 6, we have this quote, the taste of taking things slow. And I think they were eating something at the time.
Yeah.
And they were together. The homestay people were together, I believe. And they're sitting there and one person's going, the taste of taking things slow. That's because an important ingredient is time. Right now, many things are losing the ability to progress slowly. Everything is speeding up. Even people are treated as machines. We're pressed for time and racing against time. In a competition against time, humans will always lose. So I love this like theme, especially when I just mentioned the visual of this clock in the hotel that really like stirred her up. This concept and theme of time throughout the show, and how they are literally making you slow down just by watching the show, because the show is so incredibly slow.
Right.
So
for me, that's one of the things that I really enjoyed about it, because like in my real life, I'm the type of person where my head does not stop. It's like constantly going. I'm always like thinking of something. Like it's always go, 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 go. That's just the type of person that I am in general. And like even if I'm not in the rush to go somewhere, like I am always walking 1,000 miles an hour. Like I am that type of person. So that's why for me this drama works in that aspect of it being slow, because it does make you slow down. And I felt like when I was watching it, I would just like calm down, if that makes sense. And I think that's one of the bigger reasons why it does work for me personally.
I had a problem with the male lead in the earlier episodes of the show, and it's because he was very controlling in a way. And it's a weird like vibe that I got from him early on. In episode 7, he tells her, "I think you're a really good catch. If you put on makeup and tidy up, you'd look like a beauty. You shouldn't have problems finding a good partner." And I was like, hold the fucking phone, because we're talking about Liu Yifei, who's stunning. Stunning. Right. She looked stunning in this scene as he was telling her, maybe you should put on some makeup and maybe you'll get a man. Maybe you'll catch a man. And I was like, are you okay? Like, sir, like this is... it like made me so angry in the moment. And I don't know if you guys picked up on this like sort of thing with him at all, like in the show.
I'm just trying to think, because the second time that I watched it, I think I must have missed that line completely and like bulldozed through it. But now that I'm thinking about it, and now that you mention that line, I think there was a bit of hoo-ha about that line when it came out.
You're kidding.
And I cannot remember for the sake. I might be wrong, guys, so don't,
Okay, it's fine.
But I think when this came out, a lot of people were saying it wasn't translated, or the intention wasn't translated as well as it should have been. Like in the actual translating of what he was saying. I don't know how it could have spun to make it sound different, but
it still like feels like maybe you should smile more. And it's like, why don't you just mind your business? Like at this point in the show, I'm like, where are you? Who do you think you are that you can tell her just like, fix yourself up a little and maybe you'll attract him in? And it's like, I don't know. Like it rubbed me the completely wrong way. And so now I was like on high alert with the male lead.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And especially because he realizes that she's an asset to the town, that she can provide some expertise in terms of customer service and all this stuff regarding all the little businesses that he has in the town. And he wants to recruit her. And so he enlists his adorable grandmother to give this sob story that would make her think, oh, I should help him in the business. And I was like, this is very conniving to me. I don't know if any of you guys were thinking that same thing, or if you're like, oh, whatever, he's just playing a little trick on her to get her to appeal to her emotions so that she would feel bad, pity them, and think, oh, I should help them out.
I did not feel...
You did not feel that way?
I just thought the grandmother was so funny and so cute. I don't think I really thought about that.
And that's I think the genius of it, right? Is that you're like, oh my God, the grandma's so cute and she's so on board and she's so lucid. She's doing this fully knows what she's doing, right? She's putting on airs around her and like giving her this crazy sob story about him and about the business and like, you know, does she feel so bad for her grandson because and like I'm like, this is manipulative. And I was not jiving with the manipulation tactics that he was using on her just to get her to stick around and help him in the business for free, might I add. It was like free labor. And that again was not sitting well with me. She's basically got a part-time job on her vacation and he's not paying her anything. He's like, I'll pay for your meals and like, don't worry about it. Like, we'll feed you. And I'm like, babes, that's the bare minimum. But no, I'm not going to do free labor while I'm on vacation and trying to find myself. Like, it was like I was having issues in the front half of the show with them. Truly.
Some things work better together. Like NARS's Soft Matte Complete Concealer and Radiant Creamy Concealer. Soft Matte Complete Concealer erases and blurs imperfections with full coverage. Then, Radiant Creamy Concealer evens and brightens with a luxurious texture and radiant finish. 2 concealers, 1 flawless look. Perfect for a no-foundation base. NARS, better together. Visit Sephora to shop now.
With Plan B emergency contraception, we're in control of our future. It's backup birth control you take after unprotected sex that helps prevent pregnancy before it starts. It works by temporarily delaying ovulation, and it won't impact your future fertility. Plan B is available in all 50 U.S. states at all major retailers near you, with no ID, prescription, or age requirement needed. Together, we've got this. Follow Plan B on Insta at Plan B One Step to learn more. Use as directed.
I don't know.
I had more trouble with them in the second half than the first half.
Okay, fair enough. Do you want to skip to the back half of their relationship? Because I think, let me see, but the thing is, I really loved the confession.
The confession was nice. I
have his whole quote for the confession. I think the confession was really, really nicely done.
Yeah, I had the quote too. Oh, hold on. I'm trying to think of like where he says he's talking to the guy who has the little kebab shop or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. And yes, he's like a divorcee stall owner. And he says, everybody knows that he loves her. And there's like vibes happening between them, that they have some sort of attraction. But she's leaving the town soon. So the stall owner says to give the relationship a go, just ask her to stay. And the male lead challenges him and asks, why can't he leave with her instead? Like, why does she have to stay? And the guy's like, that's because you can't possibly leave with her. Are you going to leave everything behind and leave with her? That's impossible. He says, the male lead responds, since I can't leave with her, how can I ask her to stay just for me? Why do men take it for granted that women have to sacrifice and compromise for love? Why do men only need to offer promises that they will treat their partners well for life? Completely gagged the guy. Like, gagged. He was like, had nothing
Everybody. I still remember the reactions from that scene, and everybody was like, a woman definitely wrote that quote. Everybody was going, that is exactly, because it's like, it's the conundrum of, yes, you can do like a distant, relationship,
a long
whatever,
distance,
but a long distance, but it would be really hard to have a long distance when they haven't even been in a relationship together in the same spot, if that makes sense.
They didn't even start nothing.
Exactly. So I adored that scene, like, that of him just being like, what gives me the right to ask her to stay without being prepared to also leave with her? That's literally what he's saying. Like, it shouldn't have to be a choice. I think I loved it.
I loved it, but at the same time, I'm like, you're right. It's completely written by a woman. Do I think a man would say this?
I will say,
waxing poetic on like, why do men have to
I will say, from this screenwriter that is a man, because obviously it's a woman and a man that are the screenwriters. he would write something like this, because I have watched his other dramas. So he's done High Venus and The Day of Becoming You. He's done both of those. And there's very similar vibes in both of those dramas where men do say stuff like that. And he's a sole screenwriter for that. And it's not really based on, a lot of things. So it wouldn't surprise me. And it's the kind of thing, because he's worked with a woman, would that have influenced him over time? I don't know. Or is he just inclined to write like that? I don't know.
Is he just a hardcore feminist? I mean, I don't know. It might
don't
seem
know. And
like
the
that
thing is,
from the text, right, from the work.
Yeah.
But...
And the thing is, we are so prone to and programmed to see the crap that men write sometimes that it would be incredibly hard for us to believe that a man would be able to write something so good, of equality and stuff like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I will say, I think he could write something like that, because again, very similar themes in his other shows, and it's just him writing. So it wouldn't surprise me if he had done something along those lines.
It was a good line. It was a good musing in the moment, but when you take it out and you're looking at it, you're like, this is very heavy-handed. And who are you talking to? Are you talking to the mostly women audience? Or are you trying to make a point to the male viewers, if any, who need this lesson? I don't need the lesson. You know what I'm saying? Who's the... I'm looking at the audience, too. It's you're just pandering to me. Right. Anyway.
Well, and then
lots of layers
the
to
line
that.
He says after, in I think the next episode, when they're saying goodbye in that field, is kind of the same thing.
So I have the confession here, and we'll go over it. So it's the next episode. They are taking the seaside route back to town. It's her last full day, and he's asking himself and musing about what goodbye gift he could give her. And she says he's given her so much already. And she said, this is what she says he gave her. And I was like, fuck, bitch, slow down. So she says this. She says this. He gave me the sunrise, the sunset, the starry sky, the wind, courage, and hope. And he was like, anything more tangible that you think I could give you for the goodbye?
Right.
And this is his confession. So he pulls up and says, I think you're someone who's just right. And she goes, just right? And he goes, just right to captivate my heart. I had to pause the show. At that point. I was like, oh my God, it's so good. So then he says, every day that I'm with you, I'm overjoyed. I feel delighted whether we are occupied or not. So pleased that I'm feeling down because we met at a time in a place that isn't that great. Sometimes I even start to regret it. When I was in Beijing, I often passed the hotel where you worked at, but I never walked in. If I went in, I could have gotten to know you earlier. Maybe there would have been another possibility between us. I intended to let these words sink in my heart, but I gave this much thought. At the very end, I want to give you another memory. By the seaside, where the wind blows and the sunset glow as our witness, a man devoted his heart to you. And I fell down. I fell down.
So I mean, it is a confession.
It's a confession.
It is because it's just so beautifully said, and it's the fact that he's confessing full well, not expecting anything in return.
No, she's like, I don't know what to say,
to put
and
it
he's
out
like,
there.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't need you to say anything to me, and I'm like, that is even more beautiful to me. The fact that he's like, I don't expect an answer. I don't expect anything from you. I just want you to know. And it's like, that is, it's beautiful. It's beautifully done. It's beautifully done.
It's beautifully done. She gives him a hug and then he sees her off. And that whole airport scene where he's standing outside and watching her move through the line. I was like, oh my God, if she turns around, I'm going to be so mad. Because this is, let me just say, this little tiny bit of angst of her like leaving the town, this is when I start to be more interested in the show, right? Because I'm like, okay, finally we're going back to the city. And maybe this is the thing, I'm a city girl, okay? Not a country girl at all. I'm a city girl. So when she's going back to the city and he's staying in the countryside, and it's a quasi long distance thing that they start in the next few episodes, I'm like, okay, we're doing a little better now. Like, things are moving. She's with other people. She's with her family. She's with her best friend's parents as well. That killed me. Yeah. That's the second time that I cried in the show officially, was when she's spending some time with her best friend's parents, and she's staying in her best friend's room, and they have like this little shrine and stuff. I like lost it. During this whole thing, it was just like the grief was like choking me out. I was so invested in how she was comporting herself with the parents and the little conversations that they were having, and how she brings back what the male lead says to her, that like, as long as you talk about them and keep them in your memory and keep that keeps them alive, keeps this person that you've lost alive. And she repeats that to her BFF's mom, because she says, you know, it's so hard for the parent. I would never want to experience this, losing a child. And these parents are doing rather well now. But at first, their mom was saying, like, we couldn't do anything. Like, we couldn't step out of our house. We didn't want to talk to people. We were isolating ourselves. And I'm sorry that I didn't open up myself to realize that you were also going through this grief, right? And we weren't there for you. Like, we were so focused on our own grief,
yeah,
that we didn't support you, like, as the best friend. Like, they were essentially like sisters at this point. And I like crying this whole time. I was literally just tears.
Same.
Oh my God, it was so powerful. And I don't know, it also touched into like her losing her best friend and talking about it at various points throughout the show and sharing her best friend's story with people. That her opening up to people around her in this town, that was really sending me as well, because she's so private. Like, this character is so private and elegant. There's like a quiet elegance about not just Liu Yifei, but this character as well.
Yeah.
And when she finally starts telling people about the best friend, and the male lead included, like, those were the moments that were really, I was dialed in. I was like, I want to see how she broaches this subject and shares this deep, deep grief with people. And it's almost like sharing her her new life philosophy with people as well. That, like, I'm here because of this. Like, I lost my best friend, and this was the trip we were supposed to take together, and she wanted me to live differently, and I'm living for her, and all this. Like, all these things that come into play. It is so personal. It is such a deep part of her, and it also tapped into like me losing friends throughout my own life, like not necessarily to death, like, but just falling out of touch with people and realizing like, oh, we were so close at one point in our lives and we would share all these things together, and now we don't even call each other. So it was like tapping into this like losing friends aspect of growing up and becoming adults and moving away from each other that really just resonated with me, and it was making me even more emotional than just she lost her best friend to cancer, and this is the fallout. Like, this is the process of grief. I love that. I don't know who she had this conversation with exactly, but she was talking about the timeline of grief and how she was like, I feel guilty for, forgetting her throughout my days and going about my life and laughing and stuff. And it's this dark cloud that kind of comes over me that sometimes I'm like, why did I get through it so fast? And that's like a big thing, right? Like everybody grieves in their own way and on their own timeline. And some people, like, it never leaves. And other people, they're like, I think about it sometimes and it's sort of like stops me in my tracks. And that whole dichotomy is so interesting, and how she voices it. And she's so pained when she talks about it, that the guilt that she feels at being alive.
Yeah. I think also it was really beautiful to see, because when she does start opening up, I feel like that's her process of starting to heal almost, when she's finally able to open up and start talking about it. And I like the fact that they don't put a timeline on healing. They don't. Even by the end episode, they still talk about the people that have gone, and you can see these looks that come over their faces. And they talk about different types of grief. So our female lead has lost her best friend, the grandma has lost her husband, and you see all of these types of griefs, and you see what it looks like. The grandma still goes and does, when they have that scene where they go to the grandpa's grave and they have like the mum, they go and see the mum.
Yes.
That scene is beautiful, but it also shows you different types of grief and like how people handle it differently. And I really, really enjoyed that aspect of, the drama as well. I think it was really nicely done.
I related a lot to the female lead as well, because personally I'm also like very reserved. So when it comes to grief especially, I tend to kind of like, so I interpreted her actions. Well, I agree in the fact that she went on this trip because she was supposed to go with her friend, and it was the start of the grieving process. I also kind of saw it as a way to get away, like run away from the grief that she was trying to feel until she got to the point where she could talk about it or wanted to talk about it. And because of that interpretation, that's how I related it to it, because that's me. Like, I'm extremely reserved when it comes to grief in general, and I tend to like look weird when it comes to going to funerals or whatever, especially if it's somebody in like my family or something, because I don't like, it doesn't hit me until like a year later. Like, I've had experiences where I go to funerals and I'm like, I'm quiet. It's not like I'm like my normal self, but like while everybody else is like crying or whatever, I like don't have anything. I'm like very composed. I talk to people, whatever. And then like a year later, I start bawling my eyes out. And that's like pretty much how I've always done that. And in most of my emotions and more in general, I'm very reserved and I don't express myself very well. So I kind of interpreted the trip in that aspect too, where she did do it in like in those duo reasonings at the same time. So I related a lot to her character in terms of the grief aspect of this drama, just because that would probably be how I would have handled the situation, especially like having somebody in my life who has had cancer but like did not die from it, and like living with the like year and a half of them being diagnosed, going through treatment and everything, and she having to like get diagnosed and dying in a very short period of time, which I did not have to experience. Like and most of my funerals that I've gone to are people who've had that situation where they've dealt with cancer or a long-term illness for a very long time, and then they finally succumb to it. I think that there's it's a different type of grief as well.
Yes, the way in which people pass away. That is,
I think there's
that
a
timeline
difference.
affects the grief timeline, I think,
exactly.
as well.
So while I relate to her in some ways, I can't at the same time, because this was more of like a sudden death or a very quick death, especially when you have like an illness involved versus like a car accident or like a heart attack is like a completely different thing. So I kind of can relate. I related a lot with her character when it came to like the death and dealing with grief and dealing with their feelings along the matter. I will say while I like, not to change like complete topics, but just quickly before we move on, while I liked the confession, I liked both scenes of the confession. Personally, I've done the type of confession where you don't expect anything from them, and from my personal experience where that did not go very well, and like it changed the complete dynamic of our relationship for a very long time.
Right.
And I basically did it due to I wanted to get it off my chest, know fully well nothing was going to happen beyond that. I did not like the fact that he did it that way. Like, I understood where he came from. I still thought it was very touching, but I think due to my own personal experience of doing it,
I got you.
That colored my viewpoint of the scene, where I did find it somewhat selfish.
Yes.
And I didn't find it as like, I want to say heroic, but that's not the word I'm looking for. Like, I didn't find it as I'll just repeat it. Yeah, I didn't find it as selfless as somebody who have never actually done that. So like due to personal experience, I didn't find it selfless as people might have
totally understand, because
that.
in a sense he's pressuring her.
Yeah, in a way. And then what drove me nuts is they didn't talk for the entire next episode, which is why I did not like that, because I was like, it's a common thing of like, you have phones. Like, you could talk.
You can text, you can talk. You can send a freaking like on your social media post.
Yeah.
And there's some interaction. But there was nothing. She wasn't liking anything from him. And he was like, I can't contact her. The ball is in her court, basically.
But I think it also, for that, I don't know if how I saw that part of it was she got confessed to. She didn't know what to do with it at the time.
Right.
And because you go straight from that into her being with her
the best
friend's parents. She's like, I want to be present here. I'm not dealing with that right now. That's like how I saw it. It's like she wanted to be completely present. And yes, I know it takes 2 seconds to send a message or like or whatever, but I think for me personally, how I saw it was that she just wanted to be present with her, best friend's parents at that time. And I think she herself didn't quite know what to do with the situation. So
did you think she kind of like the best friend's parents though as an excuse at the same time though?
No, I didn't think so.
I didn't feel that.
Okay.
Because she was already going to see them.
Right, yeah, of course she was still going to see him no matter if the confession happened or not.
So I think like that was just the natural, I think personally for me, that was just a natural step in her, her journey of sorts, was her to see
basically confronting her grief head on.
Exactly, head on, because she is in it.
Yeah.
She's surrounded by her best friend right there. There is like no escaping it at all. So it's almost like she is running away from the confession almost, and like heading towards the thing that she was trying to run away from initially, if that makes sense. So like dealing with that first,
which lends credence to your theory, your feeling that she used the trip as an escape.
Right.
Well, I think yeah. I would have seen, I would have agreed with Caitlin. I think that she yes, wanted to go and do the trip and she wanted to change, but I think there was a lot of things involved in her decision to do so. And I think one of those would have been because you see her when she, like, after her best friends, like, everything is starting to go wrong. And she, like, there's these moments where she's just paralyzed.
Yeah.
And she doesn't, like, she can't, and surely she gets to the point where she's like, exactly, I can't do this. Like, it feels like her thing of, I cannot do this anymore, I need to go somewhere else, like, I need to be somewhere else. And I think, like, being in her house surrounded by everything, like, her friend would go over, like, she's surrounded by memories, that's really difficult of a place to be in. So her going somewhere completely different where she has no memories, no links to her best friend whatsoever, I feel like it is a little bit of her, you know, I would agree with Caitlin. I think it is a little bit of her running away, regardless of that was the area that she was supposed to go with her best friend. I think it's like a what's the word? Culmination. Yeah, culmination of things. Yeah, that led her to be there. But yeah, just the way that I saw it was that after that, it wasn't the case that, because they do eventually start texting and talking and whatnot, but I think it's just that at that moment,
the talking stage. All right.
Yeah.
I did love her conversation with the sister when she was home again.
I loved her sister. I liked
the
her
sister was a bitch,
personally.
but I was like, I think I'm the sister. Like, in a lot of respects, I was like,
I loved her
I think
parents
that's me.
too.
I love the sister.
Yeah, I like the
because
sister
they're
a lot.
so different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I liked like those little throwbacks that we got to them as kids, and like the little things that her sister would do for her, and like I really adore that relationship. I will say something that I really enjoyed about this drama is that parents tend to be very supportive in this drama.
Yes.
You don't really, and that's something that I would expect from these writers. Just like they don't tend to go down the route of parents not being supportive, but pretty much everyone in this, like, parent wise, I mean, the female lead's parents, for example, yes, initially she doesn't say she's quit her job, she's just like going on a holiday or whatever, but even when she completely decides to change her career and whatnot, her mum just like gives her the money that she had been saving, and she's like,
the renovation
here, so you can have a
money.
little extra. Yeah, and I'm like, I just adore that. And even like her sister's just like, you know, I'm just coming into, when she goes to see her, she's just like, I'm just coming in to check on you or whatever. And I really enjoyed like the parent relationships in this. I thought they were really well done as well.
So we're talking about parents. Let's talk about this because I have been listening to a lot of the Afternoon at Ask podcast, and they have a series on Confucianism that they do episodes every so often. Look, this show is very steeped in Confucian ideals, I feel like, especially when it comes to filial piety, because there's so much filial piety in this show. All of the aunties and the grannies in this show are constantly telling the younger generation to, you know, be there for their parents, to check in on their parents, to support their parents. Why are you not working? All of this stuff having to do with filial piety. And there's this episode early on, episode 11, where one of the village aunties, and it's the one that's a braggart.
The really loudmouthed one.
Really
I
loudmouthed
know.
braggart
I know.
one.
Yeah.
She starts berating the meditation man, the tea man, for being lazy and not taking care of his family. He has no kids. At first I was like, oh, does he have kids that he's not taking care of? Because yeah, that sucks. But no, she's just talking about his older parents, his aging parents. And she says, our female lead is there having tea. It's the three of them having tea together. And the female lead says, as long as someone can live on his own without harming others, he has the right to freely choose the life he wants to live. And I was like, okay, preach, sis. Then the auntie says, when it comes to freedom, only an orphan can be truly free to choose the life they want. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Right.
She says, if you have a family, you have to spare a thought for them. If you're lazing away, they'll have to work hard. And And after that, I was like, holy shit, that's strong. Those are some strong words that she's saying there. And the meditation man, I don't know why I call him the meditation man.
Because he was always meditating.
No, I cannot call him meditation man. To me, he is Noodle Dad because he is one of the dads from Go Ahead.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So to me, he's just like, that's Noodle Dad. That's like been dubbed.
Well, they gave him like this horrendous wig or extensions or something.
Right.
And it just looked awful.
Oh, he looks much better. Yeah, much better in Go Ahead. His look is much better in Go Ahead.
So he basically says in this conversation, he responds by saying, we're all doomed to failure. All your efforts may just be in vain, he says. So why bother trying to work and strive? Just do nothing and combat this failure, this inevitable failure, with stasis, is what he said. And what the auntie responds with is, in our lives, we're born with nothing on. When we die, we take nothing with us. Life is arduous, but you can't end your life because you're going to die. Only the air you breathe in is free. Everything else comes at a price. And I was like, a lot to unpack there, babe. But like,
yeah,
it's this concept of like, you owe it to your parents to be there for them in their old age and take care of them and make sure that they're set up and make sure that they have money and just, you know, be successful for them. And
but
I was
then,
like, whoa.
That auntie is also very interesting because she's the one who has her son
interesting.
away.
Yes.
And he's the one who has no time for his parents.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, they're supposed to go out to meet him, and he's like, I'm sorry, I'm too busy working.
And you don't know this in episode 11. You find this out, like, post-episode 20.
No, you find this out later.
I think this was a way for her to vent. Like, I think she wanted to tell that to her son, but she couldn't. Because one, in this small town, if it got around, because she was bragging all the time about her son, like, if she went and actually told her son that, she knew it would get around eventually, somehow.
Yeah.
And that whole facade she put up would come falling down. But also, she didn't have the guts to tell her son, so she decided to tell this meditation man. I think it was really her
like he was bothering her because I guess he reminded her of her son.
Yes, yeah. What other son-mother relationship broke me? I cried so hard. Was the woman that had the son in prison?
Oh, God.
Oh my God! When he came home,
stop it!
Oh my God!
Stop
the scene in his room after the party.
No,
I was bawling my eyes out.
Why are you bringing this up?
I loved her. I loved her so much.
Oh, she was so mean. When her and the braggart lady get into a fight, I was hollering. Hollering at the top of my lungs. Their fight was so juicy.
Yeah. But then like between her husband going to the hospital and then her son coming home, I was crying my eyes out. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then like do you hear like the background of her son and like pretty much he was scammed again and like and it was like a common theme of scam.
Because these small town people keep getting
small
scammed.
Town people don't know what they're getting into when they move to a big city. It was so sad. I just
us city people don't. We're like, what are you doing? All right. So yeah, I completely agree with you. That was really, really sad and touching. The other thing, speaking of meditation man, so he kind of has these great conversations with the writer Damai. He tells her, because she's saying like all these things, like she's going through so much self-doubt and self-pity because of her situation, that feels like she's not a good writer. She's getting tons of hate comments online, people criticizing her work. She's not making money off of it. And on top of all this, her parents don't approve of her being a web novelist.
Yeah.
And so the meditation man says, if we keep looking at the ground and following our parents' footsteps while marching forward, we can never find a new path. You have to pave your own path. However, it will be a path full of thorns and obstacles. And it's like you can take that and apply it to everybody. That once you're forging a new path, that your parents will literally not understand you. And he was saying it's still worth it to try and forge your own path. And she finds the strength to keep doing it, keep writing and writing. At this point, I think at the end of the movie, at the end of the show, she was like writing a novel,
right?
Instead of like these serialized web stories, and she's doing a lot better for herself. And it was just like this moment where she needed that encouragement that she's doing something new. Of course, it's going to be painful and, full of obstacles. So I liked it. I liked that when they rally behind the web novelist as well. They start writing positive comments.
Fighting the comments,
reporting the mean comments, and it was so.
And she's like, "I knew it was you guys all along. Like I knew who you were."
I also love the dynamic of like you have the girl who's writing the novel, who is getting all this hate comments, who is kind of like in the place that she is, but is still writing, is still going along, is still doing whatever she loves. And then you have Nana, who was a streamer, which we don't find out until later, who quit because of hate comments and because of a minor scandal that she had. And
which wasn't even true.
But, like, I love the fact that you have this thing where you have this person who's very reserved, stays in a room, doesn't talk to anybody, whatever. And then you have Nana, who is more outgoing or whatever, but she quit. And then you have this person that you'd think would quit. It would be like the opposite,
Right.
And
great point.
Then they supported each other when Nana decided to try it again. And again did that whole like sitting around the table and like commenting and like sending her gifts out of it. Like I laughed.
I love that. Yeah.
And then they were yelling at that one guy who
he sent her like a yacht or something in the app, and they're like,
"No,
do you have that
too
much
expensive.
money?"
No. I love the dynamic of, because you'd think it would be the opposite way around, and then it wasn't. And again, you have no idea how people are gonna process things, right?
And even if their personality would lead you to believe, oh, this really shy and reserved creative is gonna totally quit under the pressure,
right? She
doesn't, and this other outgoing and sensitive, person who, for all intents and purposes, you think she's doing great, like mentally throughout the show, and she's not.
Right.
She's traumatized by this experience that she's had online, and she quits outright. The live stream.
I think, like, with Nana, watching it a second time, there's little hints that not everything is quite as, peachy as it seems. And it's right from the beginning. They start, like, preparing that road right from the beginning with her character. And I think the first time around, I didn't pick up on it as much, but the second time around, it was, like, way more glaringly obvious that there was something not quite right with her character. And I think that's, like, I always say these type of dramas is just people being people, and like I think it shows you such a varied and diverse type of people, and how they're just all working towards whatever it may be that they want to achieve. So yeah, I was looking through my notes because there was one quote, and it's early on, and it's from our female lead, and it links into like something that we were saying earlier on, about like her story and her journey. And it's episode 7, and she says, 10 years have passed. I've saved some money, but I realized I could only buy a few square meters. I have no house, no car, and no partner. All I gained was illness. And it's like one of those moments where she truly realizes where, what the hell has all of this hustle brought me? It's brought me nothing. Like, I've enjoyed none of it. So I wanted to like touch back, because I was like, I'm pretty sure I had like something to go along with what we were chatting a bit earlier on, and that was definitely it.
I also want to touch back on the red flags that I'm sensing in the male lead, because I found something else in my notes. In episode 12. Sorry. So in episode 12, they're sitting around at a table and he tells her to stop eating this fried cheese before the main dish comes, because she's going to fill up on this cheese.
Right.
And she says, whatever, like, I like it. And he gets her to stop eating this cheese, I guess appetizer cheese or side cheese or whatever. He gets her to give up by saying she'll fart more if she keeps eating the cheese, using embarrassment to manipulate her into doing what he wants. And I was like,
completely went over my head.
Not having it. I was like, let her eat the fucking cheese, whatever the fuck she wants. Like, it's her life, not yours. You're not together. You have literally no say. Even if you guys were together, like, let her eat the freaking cheese. Mm-hmm. Like, in my mind, I was like, what is this? Like, and they play it off as so playful and funny, like, oh, haha, he talked about farts. Like, it's like almost like a toilet joke. But I'm like, what is it? You're manipulating her into doing what you want, which is to stop eating the cheese and wait for the main dish to come. And these little things were getting me very upset in the front half of the show. I didn't like it.
As someone...
Go for it. Go for it. I'm done.
I know. I was just going to say, as someone who is, like, lactose sensitive, if my partner was telling me, you know, you really should stop eating that cheese, I would probably agree with him, because I know I would be suffering for the rest of the night.
That's different.
I know it. I'm completely over my head. Like, completely over my head.
Yeah. I didn't like it. She has this conversation with his dad in episode 16, because his dad is a bit of a terror and a bit abusive to me.
Right.
Where he's constantly thwarting his efforts to revitalize the town and bring tourism to the town. And the dad is like,
that was the one parent
blocking.
that annoyed me.
Oh my God. So then the dad comes to see Liu Yifei's Hongdu, and he's basically trying to get her to agree with him that, like, it's a bad idea to leave a good paying job in the city to come back to this no-name town and try and, like, gentrify it in a sense. And get tourism to flow. And she says the reason why you left is the reason why he came back, because there was constantly all of these stories of parents leaving the town to make money, make a career, what have you, and leaving their kids behind in the town for the elderly people, the grandparents, to raise. And then coming back and, like, visiting every so often, just because of necessity, because there are no prospects in the town.
Right.
And he was like, I don't understand why he came back. And she's like, well, it's because of all this, like, this whole thing that's happening. He wants to get that to stop, because there would be enough prosperity in the town for all of these families to stay together, for the town to stay where it is, like, to keep going and subsisting. And that was really good. But again, the dad coming to see her, I love her reaction, because she's like, can I help you? Like,
right.
She was like meditating and he comes and talks to her and she's like, hi. Like, it's so strange. I don't know. So they get into a relationship. I'm just going to skip ahead. So they get into a relationship, and I think it's when she comes back to the town.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it is. I think it's like episode 30 or something.
Yeah.
Or is it even later than that? Yeah.
There is a funny moment where the grandma has been telling him, like, why don't you just confess to her your feelings? And finally he says, like, he tells his grandmother that he did confess his feelings right before she left. The grandma does a spit take. Like, she's, like, drinking something and she spits it out fully. And I was my God, we got a spit take. We get the talking stage. And this is when I start to, like, loosen up on the man, because I was feeling he was too controlling and he was a little bit traditional. And, like, I don't know. I was, like, not feeling it. He asks if he should fly up to see her. after her cousin has the baby, because the baby was born under duress. The cousin fell and this whole thing. And there's like this beat there, and I'm like, oh, pregnant pause, because she doesn't say anything. She's just like,
Yeah.
So he gets shy. He takes it back as a joke. He's like, oh, sorry, I was just kidding. I'm not going to fly up there tomorrow. And she probes him and says, if I needed you, would you come up and fly up to Beijing? And he says yes, like no hesitation.
No hesitation.
And I was like, oh God, like this, we're getting closer. We're getting closer, right? Then they get the big contract for the bookstore, which I wish we finally saw that bookstore.
Same.
Honestly, like the bookstore was like a huge part of this.
And we got that cameo with
it.
all the bookstore.
Yes. So
I love the actor who is the owner, by the way.
Yeah. He's from
he's the mayor
of Romance on the Farm,
I know him.
right?
Yes, he's in that drama. Yeah,
which I need to.
And
finish.
he's also he's also in High Venus, which the male screenwriter wrote.
Right.
So it's all like linked. Yeah.
So they get the big bookstore contract, and the male lead asks her if she would be willing to come back to town and consider starting a life working at the homestays and hotels that would surely pop up now that the bookstore is happening. And she says that she'll consider it. But she's already been deep in the planning stages of buying the homestay. So it's like she's not telling him the full story. So episode 31 finally happens, where it was this moment where he drops her off at the homestay, and then she's closing the doors, and he puts his hand on the door, on the big wooden door, and she's just like, good night. Yeah, right. So he wants this. He's like, I have to tell you something. This always like puts me on edge. I don't know if this has happened to you guys, or like, I need to tell you something. It's very personal. I'm like, oh God, what now? You never had this conversation with like a guy or something? All right. So she takes a rain check. She's like, why don't we do this tomorrow? Like, we'll take a walk by the seaside and you can tell me whatever this is. But he doesn't take no for an answer. She closes the door, goes up to her room. He starts throwing pebbles at her window, which he often does. It's very Romeo and Juliet type situation, because she opens the doors, the windows, and she's on the balcony, and he has to get this out. He's telling her about his situation. Like, I have loans, I have $50,000 in savings, I live with my grandma, I've got a nice stepmom, a dad, a rebellious half-brother. Like, he doesn't own a house in the city. He has a family house, land in the countryside, etc. He's laying his cards on the table. And then he finally asks, will you be my girlfriend? I gasped. The gasp that I gasped in that moment. Oh my God. She says no, which is great. She's playfully like, I want to go on a date tomorrow, basically. I want to get fixed up and look nice, and then you can tell me all this stuff tomorrow. Like, I'm not telling you yes right now. And you might even get a kiss out of it. He fucking scrambles up the building. I don't know how he does this. Because in later episodes, I'm like looking at the exterior, like, did he climb up that pole? Like, I don't know. So he somehow gets up there, Spider-Man style, and knocks on her window. And he's just like, what are we? Like, he needs an answer tonight. And asks playfully, do I get a kiss now? And she gives him a couple of kisses, and I'm like, oh my God. But then she relents and says she'll open the front door for him. He feigns that he sprained his ankle on the way down. So she sprints to the big wooden doors at the entrance of the homestay, and he goes in for a kiss. They make out.
Yep.
They just make out right there. Lost it. Lost my marbles. This whole thing. I was like, this was when I bought stock, right, in their relationship. Because up until now, I've had so many reservations about this dude.
Right.
So many reservations. Oh God. So then anyway, the show progresses. They're together. They're an item. She's with the village beau, as he calls himself. And I think that it's more about the side characters a lot of the time and them renovating the homestay. And I was really surprised when they did a year time jump at the end of the show.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was taken completely aback because we had gone so slow throughout all of this time. And then they're like, boop, time jump for 1 year. And I was like, I beg your pardon? Like, time jump? Okay. I thought we were going to see the whole year, but okay. There is just a nice wrap up of everything. The homestay is finally gonna open. Her homestay, I should say.
Yeah. Her and Nana's homestay.
And it's beautiful. When she was walking around the space, I was like, drop the location, sis, because I need to go visit this homestay.
When this was airing, everybody that was like watching this and talking about it online were like buying tickets to China and Yunnan province. We all want to go
because that was a nice ass homestay.
I wonder if it actually exists, or they like did they do something? Like, did they do like a meet yourself homestay and keep it in Hunan province?
Oh, like branded.
I think there is one.
Yeah.
I think there is one there because, like, with big dramas, they do tend to keep stuff.
Right.
Like, you got, for example, for the Untamed, you can go and visit a whole bunch of stuff for the Untamed. So, unless the only place they don't keep anything at all is Hengdian Studios, but that's because that's like the turnover is there's no way. But once it's done in places that like this, they do tend to keep some stuff there, and you can go and do like tours and stuff like that for the dramas, just like you would with like Korean dramas in like South Korea. You can do that with these ones as well.
One of the scenes I loved in episode 39, before the time jump, when they went to Beijing to like wrap up everything and like move her stuff out.
I had some nitpicks here.
Yeah.
Like, one thing I didn't expect and I actually thought was, I actually laughed at this scene because I was like, really? Like, that's what you're planning on doing?
Is it the sex?
When she dresses up as a hotel employee.
The role play?
I'm like,
this is a role play couple.
I'm like, that is what you're role playing? Okay. Like, get it. Everybody has their own interests. Everybody wants to see something, but
she dressed
like, really?
And the thing is, I felt like it was coming, but I was still like, are we actually going here? Where she dresses up in her old hotel uniform and she comes out with like the black stockings and the heels and stuff. And the look on his face, I was like, they're gonna have sex.
Yep.
But I was like, she goes through with the role play where she's like, sir, how do you like the? I was like, oh, this is a role play couple. 100%.
Yes.
100%.
I wasn't I was expecting something to happen because that was like clearly gonna be a sex scene.
Yeah.
I was not expecting the hotel employee role play.
By sex scene, it's just they have sex.
Yeah.
Not that we see anything explicit.
Right.
Okay, I have to make that clear.
Yeah. I was not expecting the role play to come out around the corner.
Same.
I was just like, I knew there was something coming, but I was like, okay, if that's your fancy, I'm okay with that. Like, to each their own. It would not be me.
It would not. Can't relate. But okay.
Relate, but okay. I was dying that scene. I was dying.
Same. My nitpick has to do with the apartment. So she said her apartment flooded.
Yeah.
And that the landlord was taking
water
care
damage?
of it. And they walk into the apartment and I was like, absolutely not.
Right.
This apartment did not see a drop of water.
Exactly.
Yeah. As a person who lives in Florida and has seen some flood damage, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No. All of her stuff was fine. All of the furnishings, like nothing happened. I was like, why
all the walls were fine.
Yeah, no. It was no. So that was my nitpick, was that she was saying there was a burst pipe and it was all flooded on her stuff. She was worried all her stuff was wet. And I was like, oh, dang, that sucks. And then they walk in and I'm like, this is pristine in here. No. Oh, the other nitpick not nitpick, but the other thing that really got me upset in the latter episode was in episode 38. There is like a riot that happens.
Yes.
A riot. A gaggle of men just like show up at the homestay that she's renovating.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, your boyfriend's trying to create a monopoly. He's shutting down all of our business ideas and we can't get anything approved.
Yeah.
And he you're benefiting from this. This is totally unfair business practices and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, are we just not going to call the cops? Are we just not going to press charges? I'm the press charges girly, okay? Watch what happens when you cross me, okay? So nothing happens to these people. They just have to go like apologize later.
Yeah, they get a smack on the hand and they have to go apologize.
I was like, no.
Have an elder guy run behind them with a cane and be like...
Well, the granny like fends them off. The grandma fends them off initially with like this toy sword.
Yeah.
Which was supposed to be funny, but I was like, they could have knocked her down and then she was done.
Right.
Like broken hip and there goes granny. I was very concerned.
Yeah.
So it was a lot more, I was reading a lot more danger in the situation than the characters were. I would have gone full ape shit on these people. Like, there's rebar everywhere. Like, watch me. So, I was not having that. Not okay with the outcome of that. So that was my nitpick. Oh, but the fight. Oh, but their final fight. Because they finally start fighting.
Right.
In their relationship. Mm-hmm. And I thought this was a valid reason to take a break from their relationship, honestly. Was that all my red flags come back in this situation? Because I was like, he's very controlling and he's very traditional. And so what he was doing was not telling her anything bad. No bad news. No struggles that he's having in his life, in his business, nothing. He was just giving her like the good parts. And which is why that comes back to bite her when this gaggle of dudes shows up at her doorstep demanding X, Y, Z and the other. Because it has to do with him. And she says, well, let's do a trial separation, basically, because he's constantly lying to her and babying her. And every time she has some sort of issue with him, he immediately is like, oh, yeah, you're right. Like, I'm sorry, whatever. And it's a form of placating her. Instead of talking things out and, you know, coming to a consensus and compromising in any sort of way. He's just like, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm so wrong. And I can see why that would be so freaking upsetting on her end.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there was a moment when she says, let's take a break. And he doesn't say anything. There's like a beat there. Mm-hmm. And she starts laughing in his face. She kind of like, and walks away. And I was like, girl, he can't handle it. He cannot handle the separation. And the way she laughs at him was very much laughing at him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was such a great little moment for her. It must have been I don't know if it was a director decision or if it was a Liu Yifei decision to laugh in his face like that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But I was like, damn, I felt that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing that irked me around
the slight breakup.
I mean, I understood that. I was like, he needed to hear that. He needed to hear, like, he needed to realize the whole situation with the riot coming, like the mob coming to her house was his fault because he didn't give her a heads up. He didn't give anybody a heads up this was going on. Yeah. And then they took the opportunity of him leaving the village to sneak behind his back and try to do something, which
and intimidate her.
Yeah, intimidate her.
Yeah.
And so she was right. It could have all been avoided, or at least could have been mitigated if he had informed her this was going on. Mm-hmm. And I think she had every right to say it, and in the direct way that she did say it, I thought that was very poignant of what was going on in the story.
Absolutely.
Well, especially because to that point, as you said, they didn't really argue.
No.
And I think the reason why they didn't argue was because he didn't tell her anything.
No.
He didn't open up like she had with him. And I think this was more than just the riot conversation. It was like, dude, if you want a relationship with me, I opened up to you. You need to do the same. Like, you need to treat me on equal footing, because clearly you don't.
Don't baby me.
Yeah, clearly you don't.
Yeah. And the grandma again coming in and saying like, oh, you're treating her like you treat me. Yeah, she'd be pissed too.
Yeah.
I can see why she's pissed.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was like her basically just being the pretty much strong, level-headed character that she is.
Right.
And she's like, if this is the way that you're going to be, then this relationship isn't going to work. And you really need to think about exactly how we communicate. And, you know, it's basically her like saying, get your head together and get it in the right lane. Otherwise, you know, I will just go on my merry way.
Yeah.
And I think he needed to hear that, and he needed to go through that situation to like, for their relationship to sort of become more cohesive and kind of like, so they can communicate better and actually move together forward as a couple on the same footing, rather than, you know, him picking and choosing what he tells her.
Well, it wasn't even all from like a romantic perspective either. Like she was also speaking from like a business partner.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even like, even if they hadn't been dating, she still needed to know what was going on, because this was a business that she had bought, and how business savvy she was, and the fact that she was helping this village, she needed to know what was going on in the village.
The landscape.
Yeah. So even if they didn't, like, she was speaking from a romantic standpoint, but I think also from a professional standpoint, which I thought was good.
Yeah. Okay, there is so much more that we could cover, but I'm actually going to cut us off right here, because honestly, we could keep going about all of the stories in this show and more conversations that were had between characters, not just the male lead and the female lead, but it's very layered. It's pretty nuanced. And, you know, once we're talking it through, it seems like the show is a lot better than our experience watching it. So I just want to put that out there.
You too. I disagree with that.
What?
You know, like, my experience was great. I still love watching
no, that's
it.
what I mean. That's
so
totally
that's
what I
mean.
That's what I mean, is that me and Caitlin. I mean, me and
So,
Caitlin.
yeah, I'm just saying, go through.
You're like, don't love me in there. I had a great time watching the show.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm actually going to just you know, thank you for listening this far, if you've come this far. But is there anything else you guys wanted to add before we get out of here?
I think, like, the last thing I just want to say is I really love, like, the writing that they end on, because they say, time spirals on, but happiness never ceases. Dark clouds are passing, and the wind will always rise. I think that's, like, a beautiful sentiment to end, like, the whole show on.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my last little thing.
Also, her spirit, I don't want to say animal, but in a sense, like, spirit animal, was like wind. She wanted to be reborn as wind after she passed away. And then she asked him what he wanted to be after he dies, and he was like, rain. So wind and rain, it kind of goes together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the original homestay that she was staying at was also translated to wind something, like it was wind in the title of it. And so that kind of like made a lot of sense as well. And then there's wind in a lot of like the big quotes.
Right.
Yeah,
like
there is.
So she's a wind girly and he's a rain man.
Membership means more with American Express Business Gold. Earn 4 times membership rewards points in your top 2 eligible spending categories every month, including eligible U.S. advertising purchases and select media, and U.S. purchases at restaurants, including takeout and delivery. What are you waiting for? Get the card that flexes with your spending every month. Terms and points cap apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold Card. Built for business by American Express.
Bonjour, compadre. It's the
Priceline Negotiator.
How do I negotiate so many great travel deals? My greatest gadget. The Priceline app. It's got hotel deals, flight deals, rental car deals, all of those deals in a bundle. Deals, game day deals, concert trip deals. No one deals more deals than Priceline. Hold your horses, there's more. The app lets you filter hotels by neighborhood, vibe, star level, and amenities like pools and spas and beachfronts and... Wait, I'm not done. Stop cutting me off. Priceline!
Oh, God.
All right. So, oh my God, where can we find you guys online? Just in case people don't know where to find you guys. This will all be linked in the show notes, but.
Yeah. So I think Instagram is probably the best place to come and find me. And it's Tea Soju Pod, all one word. And it's the same on TikTok and, X, whatever.
Yeah.
I still hang there very rarely, but it's mostly in those two places.
Nice. Caitlin?
I have a blog, I have a podcast, I have Instagram, I have TikTok, I do have X, but I sort of use it, sort of don't. All under the name of No Sleep, the number 4 dramas.
Yes.
There you go.
All right. So if you want to chat more about Meet Yourself, I'm sure all three of us would be more than happy to chat with you about Meet Yourself. Maybe Liliana more than me and Caitlin, but just saying. We're all here for it. It's fine. There's so many things that we didn't cover, it feels like, and there's a lot more where that came from. It is 40 episodes long.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But anyway, that's been our show. Thank you so much for listening to the drama trio over on Daebak. But I'm Jessica, and this has been the Daebak K-Rambles Podcast.